I think this is the fair thing to do. Regardless to whether you say his visits are inconsistent, he say they're consistent, the reality of it is when you move to Florida, he can no longer have access to those kids. So even if he were coming this day, and did every weekend, he won't be able to do that anymore now that you are going to move to Florida. So what I'm not going to touch is your custody arrangement. Not going to touch that at all. This is a child support court. That has nothing to do with us. So I'm not going to touch it at all. You are free to move to Florida. However, he's coming off child support. So then he can use the money, that $880 or so that he would give you for child support. He can use that to travel to actually see the kids. But what if he doesn't, Your Honor? Well, if he doesn't, then after some time of him not doing it consistently, and when I say consistently and consecutively, it needs to at least be about 6 months or something like that, right? Then you can come back and let me know, Judge, he's not exercising regularly. I need some support for these 2 kids, right? But absent anything like that, I believe that's in the best interest of the children, and quite frankly, that's fair. You are moving without permission, right? Which is a violation of your court order, so it's only fair that he stops paying child support. So beyond
I just shot my daughter. Just shot all my grandkids. I'll be sitting on my step.
what is the address that you're at, sir?
2550 Northwest, 25 Terrace, downstairs. Every one of them are dead.
You said your name is Don Spirit?
Yep.
All right, Don, what kind of gun do you have?
Doesn't matter what kind of gun I got, they're all dead, and then when you get here, I'll shoot myself, and then you figure out what kind of gun it is.
How long did this happen, Don?
I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to know every fucking thing. Just bring the motherfuckers out here, that's all. We got all the kids are dead in the house.
Okay, how many people? Okay, how many people?
6 kids, 1 adult.
6 kids and 1 adult?
Yeah, one of them was a baby.
All right, Don, okay.
Cognify is a new concept for prison reform, where criminals would have the choice to choose between spending tens of years behind bars or instead opt to have AI, artificial memories, implanted into their brain. The idea is to treat criminals like patients and permanently change their brain chemistry by implanting these artificial memories so that when they re-enter society, they are a new and completely reformed person who mentally cannot commit any more crimes. The way that it works is that depending on the severity of the crime, AI would design these false memories to be implanted that would make the person more empathetic, or in some circumstances, make them physically and emotionally feel the pain of their victims and their victims' families. Even though this process only takes about 7 minutes, to the subject, it would feel like it had been years. Last year, the United States government spent $8.7 billion of taxpayer money on the prison system. This whole process would cut that spend significantly, and we could use that extra money on healthcare, education, and other technology advancements. Not to mention, we would have a whole new group of rehabilitated.
This was never supposed to happen. And yes, a biblical deadly event is happening right now to our moon, and there may be nothing left for us very soon. NASA was shocked when a man had taken over 2,000 extremely high-resolution photos of the moon to notice several spots of the moon turning blood red, and scientists are terrified. The Bible in Joel 2 talks about the sun turning into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and the terrible day of when the Lord come. And when scientists looked into what the red spots were, they found that it was a material when translated from Greek to mean blood, called hematite. But NASA's website also notes how confused they were to see hematite forming, saying the material requires the moon to have oxygen and water, making people believe the formation has to be from a divine entity. Given the Bible was translated from both Hebrew and Greek at one point, people have been shocked over this. But is it a freaky theory, or are we facing end times? No, this is not CGI. China has just created the most terrifying war weapon that we do not have protection from. A physicist named Chu just announced during a terrifying presentation that an invisibility cloak is now a real thing, with experts saying that they plan on not only having this be used on people, but weapons with the next generation of combat aircraft going under trial with this technology. Not only can it hide any object and person behind it, it is also believed to be able to hide a person through heat-sensing cameras. With a lot of high security areas using heat sensors, this could be a real threat, allowing anyone to get past the nation's high security. At the presentation, Chu had two workers hold a panel in front of him, and when they rotated the panel, Chu turned completely invisible. With Chu stating a haunting phrase, "Science fiction has now become real." The panel uses light-bending technology to hide the person directly behind it, revealing just the background. Named quantum stealth, many fear it going into the wrong hands and into those who may do terrible things with it. And with even the people who created it not having a solution on how to combat this, it could be very dangerous.
Okay, no, but you don't become a woman just because you dress like a woman.
The truth shall set you free.
So let me ask you a question. If I wear a disguise or a costume, do I become that thing? For example, if I dress with a sombrero and start talking with a Mexican accent, do I then become that culture?
No, because that's different race.
Okay, but then why, how is it different? Because you're saying that if you dress a certain way and you present a certain way, you can be as you think you are. Why can't I also just choose what culture I am?
Because you were born within a culture, you were born with.
But you were born as a man. So what is a woman?
What is a woman is whatever you want to be.
So anyone can be a woman?
Yeah.
OMG.
So do you get a period?
No. Well, actually, yes. So, no.
Can you give birth?
No.
So a woman can be whatever you want it to be. Is that correct?
Yeah, but cis women can also be and have all of the
So
things.
under that logic, can I become a bobcat or a giraffe?
I mean, if you want me to call you a bobcat, sure. I don't
So
care.
at some point, don't you see that it's probably a bad idea to give people the ability to identify whatever they want just because they feel a certain way?
Why would it be a bad thing?
Well, shouldn't we have some sort of objective truth that male and female differences and distinctions matter?
Popular synthetic breeding hair products were tested. The results are troubling. Every sample contained carcinogens, chemicals that may cause cancer.
3 of the samples tested positive for benzene, a carcinogen that is highly regulated and discouraged for use in laboratories because of the potential to cause cancer.